This is Charter Local Edition. Brad Pomerance here in the San Gabriel Valley, joined by Bob Bruesch. He is a trustee with the Garvey School District, a school district in the San Gabriel Valley. I want to speak with you, sir, about the recent presidential election. I know at my daughter's school, the day after the election, an assembly was called because a lot of students were apparently upset about the result, and my daughters reported there were a lot of tears. You know, here we are in California, a state that stayed very blue in a county that remained very blue. And so as an educator, you spent decades in the classroom.
50 years.
Yeah, let's talk through this scenario. Because I'm not taking a position on the president-elect, but we do know that he had made some statements about Muslims, about Latinos, about women, about immigrants, that our children heard, and some of them are uneasy.
Well, first of all, very little was said in this campaign about education.
And we'll talk about that, but I want to dig into this issue of the perception of the president-elect amongst California children.
It's really important for teachers and parents to talk to kids about the democratic process and about being able to see through particularities and see the general scope of what America is all about, and how the progression of ideas comes and goes, and there's a evolutionary, not a revolutionary changes in our society. And right now we're seeing, like all progress, there is a revanche, a going back and trying to gain a foothold. But now it's up to the parents and the teachers to say, you know, let's move forward. We can't fall back. We've got to keep on moving forward.
I think about your school district, which has significant numbers of students of Latino descent, of Asian American descent. Some may be undocumented, their parents may be undocumented. And I've heard and seen media reports since the election that there are some families that are in a bona fide panic. Again, I am not taking a position, but the president-elect has talked about a deportation force, whatever that means. He's kind of gone back and forth on this, but how do educators handle those fears?
Let me tell you, first of all, that illegal immigration is not the bailiwick of only the Hispanics. We have a lot of Asians that come in too. So it's not a Hispanic problem. It's all immigrants that are involved in this to some degree. And the fact of the matter is, a mass deportation cannot happen. It just is impossible.
And I hear you, and I've heard many experts say that. But I'm putting on my hat as a concerned parent, and I'm turning to you as an educator. And one of my students comes up to me and says, I was brought here when I was 6 months old, I'm scared. Or, I was born here, but my mom wasn't, I'm scared. What do we say to those children?
I was faced with this about 6 weeks ago. A family I know real well. Mother was not born here, all 3 kids were. And I told him, I said, look, there's going to be no witch hunt. You know, as long as I'm breathing, there's not going to be any witch hunt. I said, if you're following the law and you're not doing anything wrong, why should they come and try to take you out of your house and take it? By the way, these are all straight A students I'm talking about. That's the way the parents have to approach this. That, you know, they're not going to come in knocking on our doors and drag us out into the streets. That would never happen. I cannot see us going into a pogrom like happened in 1932 to 35 in Germany, because a lot of the stuff that is being said today echoes what Adolf Hitler said. Exactly.
Those are strong words, but I've heard them from people other than yourself.
Well, there was a study, I don't know where, I think it was from Columbia, that they compared the rhetoric of the campaign with that of the speeches of Hitler in 1927 and 1932. And there was about a 60% correlation. That's frightening.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
At the same time, I do want to talk to you about the future of K-12 education. We have heard the president-elect say that he would like to repeal Common Core. Now, I have learned that the federal government could not repeal Common Core because Common Core is not a federal program. It was adopted by the states. But the president, whomever that is, in this case, Mr. Trump, will have his bully pulpit. And so what's the future of Common Core?
First of all, Common Core is not a curriculum. It's a way of teaching. People have got to get out of their head that Common Core comes in and tells you what to teach. No, what Common Core is all about is how kids learn. It's based on studies of how kids learn. Kids don't learn by memorization. They learn by discussion. They learn by discovery. They learn by interaction with their friends. And
I understand the virtues. I do. But I want to get a sense about the future of Common Core, because even though we know it's not a federal program, so even if Mr. Trump wanted to repeal it, I don't know that he could, because it's not a federal law. What is the future of this program that has been adopted by 40 plus states?
First of all, one of the things that was very rampant during this election was the fact that there were a lot of people disgruntled because they couldn't get jobs. Mm-hmm. The problem is the jobs that they had don't exist anymore.
Right.
They were the machine age jobs, the mechanics and like that. They don't exist anymore. And there was a long study, at least 30 years long, to come up with Common Core. And what is the main goal of Common Core is to help kids to be able to get jobs in the new economy, which is all computers.
Right.
It teaches kids how to create, how to learn.
Do you believe that Common Core is at risk?
I will fight to my last breath to keep Common Core going, because I truly believe in it. I was introduced to Common Core 30 years ago at UCLA, and I've used it in my classroom successfully forever.
I want to thank you for joining us. We'll welcome you back, of course. His name is Bob Bruesch. He is a trustee with the Garvey School District, which is in the San Gabriel Valley, which is where we are today. My name is Brad Pomerance. You're watching Charter Local Edition.